I'm Dr. Danny Scarhill here, the founder of the webinar chiropractor.com, and I'm here with Dr. Angie Meyer, who's going to share some clinical pearls of wisdom with us. How are you doing today, Angie?
Really good, Danny. Thanks so much. I'm excited to be here.
Excellent stuff. So 2 questions I get asked all the time, Angie, is how do I get more new patients? And when I get hold of them, how do I retain those patients? Any advice to my subscribers?
How long do we have? Those are 2 really good and very big questions. First and foremost, with regards to new patients, one of the things we were discussing today is getting really clear about who your target market is. Okay. So rather than the come one, come all approach, everyone needs to come and see me, really look at who do you love to work with? Who are your ideal patients? Where on the scale of -10, meaning closer to death, to 0 to comfort zone, or all the way to +10 is where on that scale do I love to work with people? And maybe what types of people? Is it downhill skiers? Is it athletes? Is it pregnant women? Clarifying that you've got the skills to work with those people is really important. Once you know who you want to attract, then we can start to develop strategies to get there. So once we clarify who our ideal or target is, we can look at the message. Okay. So the message has to be really poignant and hit them square between the eyes, not so much like everyone should come to a chiropractor, because that doesn't spur people into action. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
So once we clarify who they are, we can look at the message. So what problems do they have that you could solve? What needs might those people have that you can meet? Good questions to ask yourself are, what might be their greatest concerns or fears regarding their health? If they had a pressing question, their number 1 question about health, what would it be? And that helps get some insight. You may even want to do focus groups and ask those questions of those types of people to find out what your message needs to be to hit them square between the eyes, rather than everyone needs to see a chiropractor. Does that make sense? So really clarifying for new patients, really clarifying who you want to serve, and then figure out where they go, deliver the message in a really powerful talk, making sure we're providing value. So there's valuable information, not just we're selling chiropractic, but also that we smuggle the donkey, so to speak. Or we're always getting the message of chiropractic and clarifying what your message is. So in my world, I think we can empower people to get healthy, stay healthy, and have the best life possible. So that's always going to be the fabric of the talk, and then the layers to meet the needs are, answering those questions and providing value.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So it's not, here's a talk on nutrition, and you should come and see me. Here's my card, and they're not connected. Yeah. So it's, if the need is a nutrition talk, then we want to always be weaving the chiropractic message through, like smuggling the donkey. You know the story?
I've never heard that phrase before. Oh, that sounds cool.
Quick story, border guard in Peru, and every day a man rides up on a donkey, and the border guard knows he's smuggling something. He searches him every day and can't find anything. Finally, the man's about to retire and says, okay, I've given up my power, I can't send you to jail. What are you bringing into the country? And he said, I can't go to jail. And he says, no. He said, I'm smuggling donkeys. So my point is, we always need to be communicating the chiropractic message, no matter what the title of the talk or no matter what the need is for the market, we always need to be bringing it. So it's not chiropractic and nutrition. It's helping people who want to know about nutrition, what a properly functioning nervous system, how it contributes to, health, and what your nutrition, how it can negatively or positively affect the state of the nervous system. So it always has to be woven in. We got to smuggle the donkey. Yeah?
Okay. I'm going to borrow that one.
Go for it. It's yours. So in terms of, new patients, I think clarifying who you want, delivering a solid message, getting out in front of those people, that, and also, go to your favorite patients and say, look, I love you. I want to clone you. If I could, I would, right? How do I find more people like you?
Yeah.
And they are members of tribes. They know people like them that you can start leading those other members, so you could get to the sports club, you could get to their work, you could get to their daycare center, depending on who your target is, to attract more people like them. Does that make sense? I think most of the time chiropractors are really unstrategic in how they try to attract new patients, and it's just kind of this come one, come all, and I'll just take it anyone who comes my way. I think having a really clear idea and then having a clear message, that's standard sort of marketing. But it's something our profession misses hugely.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Talking about standard marketing, it's very much niching
Yes.
down to what you want,
Yes,
isn't it?
absolutely. Yeah. It's about creating your niche. So whether you decide you want to be, half of your practice full of pregnant women and half your practice full of policemen, I mean, you get to decide who your niche is going to be.
Yeah.
But then we have to clarify a specific message right to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very cool. I like that. So you were talking earlier today about a specific orientation that you lead new patients through. Can you share a bit more info about that?
Yeah, so I think the key to retention is this, Danny. They have to understand chiropractic. So, I mean, I personally am going to get adjusted regularly for the rest of my life. So how do you get people to understand what I understand about chiropractic, or what you understand about chiropractic, or what other chiropractors understand? More often than not, I feel like our profession, we educate from a point of tell.
Yeah.
So this is what it is, and this is what you should do it, and it's not well received. It doesn't cause consciousness shifts, and it doesn't cause people to change their actions. So it's all in how we communicate the message. So starting from what your office looks like and how the phone is answered, all the way through an entire visit one, how are we teaching under the radar and really asking good questions to expand their consciousness, because they come in thinking you're a back doctor and you're going to fix them in 2 visits, and they need lifetime care to keep their nervous system free of interference. So how do we then bridge that? And it's step by step, connecting the dots so that they start to get the big picture. So all through visit 1, how we do a report of findings, how we really communicate that, how we handle the daily interactions. I find, Danny, a lot of people, you can get people to sign up for care, meaning visit 1 and visit 2 and they start, but then what? Then we get to daily interactions, regular visits, and it's sort of like, what do I talk about now? Or how do I get them to the next level? And that's when we start to see retention-wise dropping out. I don't know what's the UK average for retention practice-wise?
I guess probably somewhere between 10 and 20 visits.
Yeah, so pretty standard to North America also. I think it's like 12 to 18, and which tells me that at some point, in that range, people are dropping out of care because they don't really get what it is that we do. So visit 1, visit 2, daily interactions, and then especially the re-exam or re-evals on a regular basis, and then find out their new goals and help them develop a new plan to get to that next stage.
Yeah.
Lastly, really comes down to building relationships and how we communicate, answering those really difficult questions that you wish no patient would ever ask. Those questions that keep you up at night, like, what happens when they say, well, I can't come back anymore because blank, or you hurt me, or how you handle those situations, the communication skill to really handle that while building the relationship, not breaking it down. Because too often we have the non-assertive style, which is like, oh, okay, and really ineffective.
Yeah.
Just that, oh, okay. And then on the other side of that spectrum is a very strong, highly assertive, we're quick to blame as a profession, well, what'd you do? Or we're quick to, make it not about us, instead of really just connecting with that human-to-human relationship and communicating to them in a way that it continues the relationship and doesn't break it down.
Excellent stuff.
Yeah.
Great advice there, Angie.
It's a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. A few big questions, a few big answers. Thank you. So, if people want to find out more information about yourself and this orientation that you talked about, where do they go?
What we can do is, if it's possible, to make it available for download, or you can go to rosencoaching.com and put in your name and email, and you will get a few emails after that. One of them being an audio PowerPoint. It's probably 45 minutes to an hour, and it literally kind of goes through an overview of those communications. So if anyone's interested in finding out more, cool. that would be great, or you can include it depending on the technology.
Yeah. That'd be fantastic. Thanks for taking out some time from your busy schedule, Angie. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for all that you do.
Nice one. You've been listening to Dr. Danny Scarhill, the founder of the webinar chiropractor.com, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Cheers.